who have human children, and happy Mother's Day to you, those of you who have furry children. How's your day? How's your weekend? Boy, we've been busy. We've been crazy busy shipping all of the sale orders, so it's a slow go. So if you haven't received your shipping notification, you'll be receiving it shortly. Coffee. So does anybody have any fun Mother's Day plans? We don't. I am setting up my laptop so that I can see your comments. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Good to see you. I know I wasn't sure how many people were going to show up today or be able to join us today because of Mother's Day. So let me set this up really quick if I can. Yeah, so we've been busy with sale orders. We've got our May kits coming in this week, so we should begin shipping, I'm hoping, by the end of the week. One of the embellishments that we included this month just took a little extra time to manufacture. It's the one with the little clothespins and wood buttons with the epoxy centers. That one took a little longer to manufacture because it had just so many details in it. So, but that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. I wonder, let's see. Changing. Oh, look at all these different, I was trying to improve the lighting, but I'm thinking that that is not what I want to do. Nope. All right. Let's see if it never fails, right? They're good. They're really good. And there's so many cool embellishments in those kits that I'm super excited about. We've got washi stickers. So, you know, you get like a roll of washi tape and you never use it all because there's, you know, you have a single roll of tape that's all one color. And so to have a roll of tape, or I mean some stickers that have like multiple different patterns. So you get a strip of, I don't know, maybe this long, but there's a bunch of different patterns. And then there's also washi tape butterflies, which are really cool, that have like different patterns on them. I'm just trying to make sure that this is charging. Is it not? There's one port on this laptop that does not charge. Okay, I think that that's working now. I always hoped. Well, my daughter was borrowing my laptop and was watching Sopranos. Who's seen Sopranos? I love that show. Let's find you guys. I hope to be able to scrapbook all day, or at least play with a bunch of stuff. So, my brain isn't quite functioning yet. Where's my channel? Our channel? Okay. Here we are. Need to. Okay, so if you notice scratches and stuff on my shoulders, it's because I tried to cut my cat's nails and he won. Yeah, I'm not a fan of washi tape generally either. And one of the reasons is because after you have it for a while, if you don't use it, it all sticks together and you can't unroll it. So it ages out kind of like rub-ons do. So if you have new washi tape, use it. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can use washi tape. And you can like put strips of it together on a piece of cardstock so that it turns into like a solid pattern, and then punch shapes out with it. And then you can use, you know, if you do a bunch of different circle shapes or you do a bunch of hexagons or something like that, you can do the same thing using dies as well. So anyway, who else is here today? She did. She did. In fact, I think she did it for us at one point in time. She was on our design team for probably 6 years, maybe. In fact, I still chat with her. So she's just one of the nicest people. Let's see. I don't want to hold you all up for the whole day, so maybe she's your all-time. I miss her too. I miss her too. I think she's focusing on her daughters and her family right now. And I think that she did a lot of different design teams for a long time, and I don't know how she did it all. But I imagine that if you're doing that, that it does wear you out at some point in time. Oh, my Clorox wipes. Those were to wipe the gesso off my glass mat this morning because I gessoed a bunch of cardstock. And I think we'll cross our fingers that Bob will make his way up here. If you're watching, Bob, bring me a pack of marshmallow cardstock from the shelves, because I put gesso on all of the ones that I have. And because of smooth, it will stamp better. Let's see. What should we do? Am I like having weird, hang on. I'm looking at my laptop and everything looks blurry. Is it blurry for you guys? Okay, wait, maybe I was just too close? Who knows? Let's see if I can get it to. Quality is kind of bad. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's see. Let me see if I'm on. Okay, first of all, let me turn that. Is that better? I don't know why it's doing that. It seems. If you can see me, okay. I think it looks like I'm back. It looks like the quality is better. Yes? Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay, so why is that there? Okay. So, yay, I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I just had to reset our Wi-Fi. Maybe that, obviously that helped. I don't know why, but it helped. So today I thought we would do some stuff with some stamps and some mixed media. I thought that it would be helpful for everybody to kind of to show you guys some different ways where you can use, you know, just your random stamps that you have lying around, whether they be part of a Pocket Life stamp set or a background stamp, or I've got some, let's see, where are my stamps that I'm going to kind of play? There's a few that I'm going to play with today, but this one is a like a little wood grain heart. And then I also have this Ikat layering stamp. And these were from back in June, I think. And then this one was in April, I believe, April 2023. So I'm going to do that one. I think I'm going to play with, obviously this is stained, but that's okay. This is our number background stamp. This one was from September of 2023. And then maybe I'll throw in some of the Pocket Life stamps too. We're just gonna play today. And I have gessoed a bunch of cardstock. And so if Robert doesn't come upstairs and bring me other cardstock, actually, I take that back. We'll just do it with some 8.5 by 11. But these that I've got right now, I believe, are all 12 by 12. Let's see if I have them. I put them all over to dry. So I think that those might be it. Okay, so I'm gonna put my hand in the camera, and so you guys can see the palm of my hand yet again, because that's what I do. I'm gonna move my laptop over here, and that way I can keep up with the chat. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I'm doing, leave them in the chat, and I'll try to kind of keep up with those. And then also a couple things. If you aren't already a member of our Facebook group, you want to do that. I don't know if I think likely most of you saw all of our mini classes that we did over National Scrapbooking Day weekend. We had a scrap fest. We did 16 mini classes. And with each mini class, we did a challenge. And those challenges are listed in our Facebook group. And you have until tonight at midnight. We're giving away a $15 gift certificate for every single one of the classes. You just need to create a layout following the guidelines for that mini class and share your finished photo of your finished project in the photo album for the corresponding class in our Facebook group. And so you need to do that by midnight tonight to be eligible to win. And we will be announcing our winners, I think, on Wednesday. And then on Monday, I will post our May challenges. Everything kind of got discombobulated this month with National Scrapbooking Weekend. So I didn't want to have the challenges overlapping. So Monday we'll post our sketch and our mood board challenges. And those will be going on till the end of the month. So if you haven't joined our Facebook group, you want to do that. If you like the content that we are sharing on our YouTube channel, we would love it if you would subscribe. It helps our channel a lot. And the more interaction that we get on our channel, we tend to do a little bit better, and people are able to find us a little more easily because YouTube, you kind of land in their algorithm in some way, shape, or form. And so whether or not you show up in people's recommended videos or feeds or whatever, it just all depends on, I don't know what it depends on, but I do know that if you get comments on your videos and likes and subscription, as long as your channel is active and people are interacting, because there's a lot of channels likely that have like automated content, and so if there's not a two-way communication, oftentimes you just kind of get lost. So if you like what we do and you think that your friends would enjoy what we do too, you can share our channel with your scrappy friends. There's a little, it's either an arrow or an airplane. I don't know what it is. What is it? It's an arrow and it says share. So you can share our channel with your friends too. So, and you can invite them to our Facebook group. If you are already a member of our Facebook group, the more the merrier. So we love to connect with all paper crafters and people who enjoy that creative time in their lives. So let me flip the camera so that we can get started, because I'll yammer for 45 minutes and we haven't done anything pretty yet. So let me move this. I am going to try not to put my hand in the middle of the camera. We'll see. I know that I'm going to have to flip this, so hang tight for a second. I know I'm upside down. Let's see. I need to... Okay. Let's see. So I am upside down. I'm going to flip this, so hang tight for 1 second. Yeah, it keeps doing that. Okay, I think we're good. Can you do me a favor? Can you bring me a pack of marshmallow cardstock? They're on the shelves. Mm-hmm. It's white. Let's see. I know that I'm kind of all over the place here. Okay. Good grief. Just when you think that you've... Okay. Am I going to be able to... Nope. I'm just trying to zoom in a little. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, friends, hang on 1 second. I'm gonna... I just want this to be zoomed in a little more. Ah, okay. At some point, okay, that was ugly. Gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see. All right, well, I'm really God's sakes. Sorry, people. I don't know why it's doing this. It just keeps zooming in. Okay. Gosh. All right. You know what? This is going to have to be good. I'm so sorry. Do you guys have motion sickness? I hope not. I hope not. Okay, so let's see. I think we want to come in just a little bit. Gosh, I can't seem to. Okay, close your eyes. I don't know why it won't let me do this. All right, that's better. We are going to call it good. Okay, so let's start with, here is a sheet of, let's see, white cardstock. Now this has been primed with gesso, and I am going to use this background stamp. And I don't have a stamp block that is large enough for this. I do have a stamp platform, but I don't want to mess with that right now. And I'm guessing that a lot of you might not have a stamp platform. So let's do it this way. Okay, so this is Versamark ink, and it's an embossing ink. And I am just gonna ink this up. I just re-inked it, so it should be nice and saturated. Okay, so I take this, peel it off, and I'm going to set it on my thingamajobber. Now, I was wondering if I should have a brayer somewhere, but I'm not sure. Hang on one second, let me look. I think I've got one. You don't have a brayer, you don't need it, but all right, I do have one. Okay, so this helps Oh, well, maybe not. This might not be the right thing to do because the way that I was doing it, it moves your stamp. And I think that, oh well, for this purpose, it'll be fine. Because I'm not going to do that again. But I am going to ink it up on the side over here because what's going to happen is it moved the stamp. And so I just am trying to create a background, and I'm just going to use my hand and just make sure that I put pressure. It's a little harder if you have like the red cling stamps. This is easier to do because they don't move. This one, if you have a large enough stamp block, it will be easier. But for what we're doing, let's see, let me make sure that I'm on camera here. So I'm gonna do it again. So what I'm doing right now is I am creating a background with, and I'm just overlapping it. It doesn't matter where the stamp, I'm not trying to line it up with anything, and it doesn't matter if it's overlapping. I'm just trying to make sure that I get all the pieces. Okay, so there's that one. We'll do it again. I think we'll just create a whole pattern background with this. So you can see, you can see where it's shiny. That way you know where you have, oh, I don't want to be upside down, I guess. Where you've stamped, and I'm going to stamp right up into the edge, and some of the numbers are going to go off the edge. Okay, there's that one. We'll do it again. And this technique can be done with any stamp that you have. Let's see. Okay. Did I get it all the way to the top? I did, pretty much. How many of you have this stamp? It was pretty popular. In fact, we have a set of solid stamps that fit inside like each of the numbers. So you could stamp directly in a different color inside each one of the numbers, or you can use the solid stamps on their own because they're just individual stamps, but it's the same font and the same size. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, there's that one. And like I said, this is not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. It's just creating a texture on your background. do one over here. They're sticky, so they stick to your hands, which makes the stamp easy to move. Okay, I'm gonna do maybe one more. I'm just gonna do the bottom, maybe halfway. So I know that we're missing right here. And I think we're missing here. And then I think we're missing here. And right up in this corner. Like I said, this is going to be messy, and it's fine. Okay. So now that I've done that, I am going to take my handy dandy box wipes and just wipe the ink off of my mat because I did get it everywhere. Okay. Put the lid and just gonna grab a piece of cardstock right here. Okay. And now we're gonna take this is white embossing powder, and I think that this was included in our January, January color kit. December. No. Which one was it? I have to look. It was either, I think it was January. Might have been, I think it was February actually. Okay, so we're gonna take the embossing powder and we're just gonna sprinkle it over the top. And we just want it to go. And honestly, if I was doing this and I cared about having it stick in areas where I didn't want it, I would have been a little more careful. And I would have used an anti-static bag so that the embossing powder didn't stick in places, because it may have stuck in areas because the gesso might not have been entirely dry, but actually that might just add to the character of it all, right? Okay. So I think we may have gotten all the areas, but I'm gonna move this side and then off the top corner. Okay, so I'm also going to, if you can kind of see where it's landed, and there's some areas where I think the gesso wasn't completely dry, like up here, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside and take another, actually, you know what you can use for this if you're using embossing powder? You can use a lint roller, and it will pick up all of the little stray particles, And the only reason why I'm doing that right now is because I don't want them to melt onto my glass mat. Because that will be a pain to remove. The other thing I think I should do is probably put the lid on it. Okay, so now I'm going to heat up my heat tool. I just want to make sure it's nice and hot. Sometimes going underneath helps if you shoot from both on top and underneath. It helps with your paper not warping as badly. And this may take a second just because of the gesso. Waiting for the magic to happen. Oh, here we go. You'll be able to see it. It gets shiny. So. And this embossing powder that I use is an ultra fine, and so the particles are really small, and so it melts. It gives you a much crisper, detailed image rather than having it kind of look blobbish. But you can kind of see how this is all melting. And like I said, there's areas that are I do not like, hang tight for 1 second. I do not like the way that this is. You know, well, at least you're getting a close-up look at what's happening. Kind of loud. You know, it didn't even occur to me that trying to emboss this whole background would take this long, but it is taking a hot minute, isn't it? If you have any questions about this, though, feel free to chat with me while we melt all this embossing powder. Okay. There we are. Hi, Jessica. Yeah, it's going to look really cool once it's done. My goodness. Usually I just dry emboss little tiny things. Guess I could finish up my coffee while I emboss with one hand, drink coffee with the other. Happy Mother's Day to you, Jessica. Do you guys have any fun plans? I will say that our weather here is absolutely beautiful. But the one thing is that we go from having weather that's like 50 degrees, and then we'll have a day like this that is like 75 or 80, and it literally is a shock to the system. We just wilt in the heat until we get used to it for the summer. But our weather here in Washington, it generally stays kind of cloudy and rainy off and on through the rule of thumb really is 4th of July weekend. And there have been many a 4th of July barbecues that have been rained out. Okay, this is looking really cool, I think. And we're going to do other stuff to it, so... Trying to make sure I don't miss any of it. So you can see it's getting all shiny. And you can do this on, I was going to do it also on a ungessoed sheet of cardstock. But because this is taking as long as it is, we'll just do the gessoed one for today because nobody wants to sit and watch this. Let's see. A little bit. You kind of have to look closely because you'll see dull areas amidst the shiny, and those are the parts that haven't melted yet. Here's a little on this side. We're almost there, people. We've actually been barbecuing this weekend. Had to pull the cover off of it, and we've got, although we haven't quite uncovered our deck furniture yet, because I don't think that the rain is done with us yet. And it usually happens in the middle of the night, so everything just gets soaked. Okay, so that means I think I may have done it all. Double check. Oh, missed a few pieces over there. All right, I think we got it. Oops. All right, I think okay. So we are good. Let it cool for 1 second. And wipe this off again. Okay. So I think it's cooled enough. And then we'll kind of try and flatten the... There, that's not too bad. We'll go this way too. All right, I think that that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so we'll try a few different things. We're gonna kind of use this as a experiment. I'm trying to get this not to show up in, okay. Does Robert ever scrapbook? No. In fact, I keep telling him that for Christmas, I just want him to make me a scrapbook layout. But he hasn't done it. You know what, Jessica, if your embossing is bubbling, it's probably because, oh, you know what? There's a spot that I missed right. Oops. Missed a spot right there. If your embossing powder is bubbling when you heat emboss it, you likely have your heat tool too close. And so yeah, you likely have your heat tool too close to it. So you just want to make sure, Is that the only? There's some more over here. I just don't want to get this embossing powder in with my ink pads. So I'm trying to make sure that I've gotten everything melted. But if you get too close, you'll have that problem. And the other thing you can do is you can heat from the top. You can switch from the top and use your heat tool underneath. There's another spot right there. But generally, you want to keep your heat tool maybe a few inches, maybe 3 or 4 inches above. And so if you go from top to bottom, I think that will solve your problem with it bleeding. You know what? Send him an email. That would be funny. Send him an email and say, oh, please. So with this one, this paper, it's marshmallow cardstock. It's by Basil. And in fact, we might start selling it in packs of 25. Not sure yet, but we may start doing that. Anyway, it's smooth and it's super thick and it holds up to mixed media really well. And so that's the paper that I used for this. And then I used a white gesso on this. And this is Finnabair Art Basics Heavy White Gesso. And I've got a bunch of different gessos. I believe that this one works the best with Lindy Stamp Gang magical powders. That's why I used it on this one, because the others, it mutes the colors, and I'm not quite sure why, but it does. So let's see here. So we'll do a couple of different things. Actually, let's cut this in half. Actually, I'm going to cut it in quarters because I do not want to. I was going to do individuals, individual 12 by 12s with this, but because it took so long to heat emboss it, I don't want to, oops. I don't want to do that 4 more times. Actually, I don't mind doing it 4 more times. I don't want you guys to sit through that 4 more times. And if I do something like this again in the future, I will have these done ahead of time. Lesson learned. Okay. So that way, when we do our different techniques and different products with it. Okay. So the first one, we can, let's try. Place to stick those. Okay. So let's try these are a few of the Hero Arts inks. You know what? People are petitioning you. They want to know where your scrapbook pages are.
In my mind.
Well, I think you're going to get inundated with emails. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do at first is we'll try a couple of different things. I'm just putting a little bit of ink on my glass mat, right? And actually, I don't need this, but this is what I use to spread my gesso. It's a silicone brush. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. And it's great for spreading your silicone because your gesso, because it doesn't leave streaks and marks. So that's what I use. I'm gonna set that aside. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water, and when you put the water over the top, you get a resist from the white embossing powder. Just want to make sure that I'm okay. You can also put the ink directly on. And you'll get a little more pigment that way. And to this on this corner, not the yellow. But you see how pretty that is? And like I said, I wasn't careful with the way that I stamped with this. I wasn't, I just put the stamp down on the paper. I wasn't picky. We'll add a little more down here. Okay, now I'm gonna let this one dry just a little bit, and let's let some of this kind of bleed around. Look how cool that looks. Now we'll let this one dry a bit, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, I'm gonna set that one aside over here. Actually, maybe I'll set it aside on the other side because I'm trying to figure out where I'm. Okay, so now we'll take another one. Okay, and this time we'll mess with some of the magicals. And I believe, gosh, I don't know what I did with, use my palette knife. Okay. So for those of you, this is Lindy's Magicals. It's umbrella pink, or umbrella drink pink. And these are colors that we've had in previous color kits. And this is like a pigment powder. And it's really cool because it's got a lot of different colors within it. And all you do, pull this aside, is you spray it with water. And you just see the magic happen. Now this one, I'm gonna add some water and kind of break up some of those piles of, and these are shimmery, unless you're using one of the flat Fabios, but these are shimmery. And so it's the magical powders that don't really like a lot of different white gessos. It tends to mute them, and I'm not sure why that is, but it does. So let's just let's let this sit here for a minute, and then let's try a blue on this one. This one is called Azure Sea Asters. And what I'm gonna do this time, let's try and keep this somewhat clean so that it doesn't, okay. So this one, see you later. Oh, I was gonna do something different, right? So this one, let's take it, and I'm gonna put the water down first. So I'm gonna wet this. And now I'm gonna take some of this and sprinkle it. And the cool thing about this is that you don't have to use any of these things in full sheets. You know, if you're like, I can't see that as a background, I'm not sure that like that's the look I was looking for, you can cut these down, punch them, die cut them, and they'll just create interesting colors and shapes. Okay, now we're gonna let this one dry a bit. Need some paper towels. One little glob of paint right there. Okay. Set this one over here to dry. Whoops. And clean that up. Put the lids on these so that I don't spill them. And then this one, we'll do some Shimmerz. ink everywhere. Paint everywhere. Okay, so this one, let's do some Shimmerz. We'll do, let's do these. These are both Shimmerz paints. And most of the time they come liquidy. Mine are older and have dried up. So I'm gonna add some water. If you ever add water to your paints, you always, always, always wanna let them dry out before you put your lids on, because if you don't, they get moldy. And then everything is ruined. So you don't wanna do that. I'm gonna blot up some of this excess here. Okay, so this one, grab a different paintbrush. Let's see. I like my white, or my my round brushes the best. Grab another one. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of water. Now these are little paint pots, and these are going to be in our May color kit. So what I'm gonna do, and they're so pretty. These are really, really shimmery. And the colors are just so pretty. Okay. And let me rinse that a little bit. And then I'm gonna add some of the green. I wanna make sure I've got, okay. So here's the green. This is really pretty too. You're gonna like it, like it, like it a lot. This one's called Jilted Jade, and the other one was called Sunny. And just is this really pretty greenish color. And the more you let these sit, the more pigmented they'll be. So I'm gonna add a bunch in the center here. And then we'll add some more yellow. So we'll add some more yellow up here. Oops. Okay, now the thing with gesso, well, not only does it protect your paper, but it also allows the color to run and blend. I add a little bit of water in the center here. But it allows your colors to move around. And a little more so when you don't have the valleys of the embossing powder, you know, to kind of, that affects it a little bit, but a little bit more. So here we can move it around and we'll get a lot of different color. And I'm gonna set this one aside and let that dry a little bit. Okay, so we'll put that one over here. I'm gonna set these over here. I've got color everywhere. Okay, and we'll do one more with this. And let's do some ink blending on this one. Okay, I want to make sure that I've wiped up all of the, okay, so here's another one. And this one we'll do, let's do, okay, we'll ink blend on this one. I was gonna say we would do, this one is Oh Boy, and I'm just gonna add a little bit. And this one is called Be Mine. And let's start with the blue one. And what I do is I pick this up from my mat and we'll start from the corner. My frame. And you can see the color building, right? And see how it just kind of lightly kind of just feathers its way. Okay, so we're going to do that. Make sure I have enough color. And then let's do the pink. 1, 2. Pick that up and flip this around this way. You see how it just, that embossing, a little bit more, that embossing just resists the ink, and you'll see that more in a minute. Now, right here on the edge here, you can see where I didn't have gesso. This is where the gesso is. So now I'm gonna kind of blend in the center here, creating like a little, kind of a bit of a purple. And I'm gonna come back in with a little more blue and do the same thing. And we'll come in in the center. And we're going to get that nice, pretty purple color in the center here. And so we've created like an ombre. Now, with this, you can take a very, just barely damp paper towel and wipe it across, and you'll remove the ink from the embossed numbers. Right there. But you see how that kind of shows up there, right? The other thing too with this is that these inks are water reactive. So when you spray water on them, they tend to move and blend. Now they're going to move and blend regardless because they're on a gesso background, but on a regular background, so you're going to have a lot more, and you can pick up some of that extra color. So, and then if you want to, you can put color, like a deeper color down. Where is the ink? So I'm gonna add a little bit more. I'm gonna add it with a brush. So I've got a damp brush here. I need to get that green out of there because that will be ugly. Don't want to be creating mud. Okay, so this, and we'll add more ink. In the center here. And then we'll do the same with the blue. Add some liquid in my here. But all three of the, so we've used a few different techniques, a few different products, and the result with the embossed background is going to be very similar. And so I'm going to let this dry just a bit, because if I go in here and try to remove this, I'm going to suck up all that color. Okay, so let's go back, and I am going to, first of all, clean this. Let's see, where's my water bottle? So I was sitting there this weekend. We need to get a power washer because we need to power wash our deck. And so I was looking at them, and they have gas operated ones, and then they also have electric power washers. But I was like, you always hear all these stories about, you know, you don't want to get electric stuff near your water. And I'm like, how can you safely power wash something using an electric power washer and not electrocute yourself. And being that I'm as accident prone as I am, that might not be the right thing for me. Okay, so here is the first one we did. And this one was using the Hero Arts. I'm gonna dot this up in the center there. This is the Hero Arts Hero Hues in Taffy and Lemon Drop. And look how pretty that is. I'm going to dry it just a little bit. Now, I believe that this is almost dry, but I'm going to I believe that these inks are buildable. So a little puddle of yellow right there. But look at how pretty that is, all the variation in color. I love that. And imagine what a beautiful background that would be. Right? And you know, anybody could do this. Like if you're not a stamper, you know, you could do this. Okay, so I am going to try to wipe off some of the color. I don't want to mess with that too much. Actually, I kind of just like it the way that it is. But let's try and take a little more and see if we can saturate some areas of this a little bit more. We'll try in the make sure that I don't have weird colors on this, because what did I just do? I don't remember. Let's take this one. Nope, that one's really blue. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of let's do this. Okay. And then we'll add a little bit of the yellow here. And then I'm going to put a little more yellow there. And let's add a little pink here. Okay. So this, I'm going to blend the bottom. And here's some. I think that this is going to give us some nice orange right in the center here. Right? And then just add a little bit of I'm going to let this one dry. Okay, so this one, we'll let this dry for a minute. This one is the one we did with the Lindys. And I am just going to go across the top and remove the pigment off the embossing powder. It comes off just easy peasy, right? But if you look at this, it's really pretty. It's shimmery. I don't know if you can you see the shimmer? It's really pretty. So this one was with Lindy's. This one was with Shimmerz. Let's dry this one just a little bit so that you can see. Now these two colors are in our May kits. And they're really pretty. They're really, really shimmery. But you see how you can use, you don't always have to use your ink pads or your stamps with ink pads. Some of this. It's so pretty. You can kind of see. Now I'm going to take, I'm going to get this dirty, so wipe across the top of the embossing powder. Look how pretty that is. I love that. And then the last one was with the Catherine Puller. I'm going to kind of and this is nice and soft. This was the ink blending. Which one's your favorite? Kind of try and get a little bit of all of them on camera. Let's see. It's hard to the lights all make the colors a little weird. I want to say that I like this one. I think I would have added less color here. I think this is a little bolder than what I would have done. For at least these two colors, I might have done like a brighter color and then a more muted color. But this one I love. This one I like too. Probably not my favorite. I think it's between these two, honestly. So that one, those are stamps and and embossing powders. So I'm gonna kind of wipe some of this off a little bit to get the, oh, love that, love that, love that. And like, you'll see how some of the color kind of blended over to these lighter areas. So I think that's really pretty. Okay, so let's try something different. And like I said, if you guys have things to do today and you need to sign off and like watch half of this sorry about that. This will be, you can watch it at any time. Okay, so here's another one that, let's do this. Now this is Liquitex Clear Gesso, and I am going to, did I stain my desk? Okay. So this one, let's try something a little bit different. I'm going to do, let's do this one. Okay, so let's use, this one. So this is a heart and it has a wood grain pattern, but it does not have to be used like that. And like I said, I'm not doing these perfect. I'm not looking for a pristine image. I am just stamping them randomly. My stamp kind of moved on that one, but that's all right. Let's kind of overlap this one. here. And right here. Okay. So okay, so let's take our paintbrush, and I don't want a ton of, this has a lot of yellow on it. Don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Again, these have gesso. Behind them. So I'm just blending using some of the ink, but I'm not getting rid of everything. I'm just kind of creating somewhat of an abstract pattern. And I might have added just a little too much, but I love the way, I love these Hero Hues ink pads. I think they're really fun, and I love, I really like the way that they react with the water, and I like the way that they remain pigmented, right? Okay, so I'm gonna dry this. There's not a lot of water here, so it won't take long. It almost looks like ink splashes with the so that's dry. Now let's use the same stamp. I just want to clean it off. Okay. Let's use some of the yellow. How many of you have a bunch of stamps that are sitting around in your stash that you haven't used in either forever or ever, that are unopened and you've just were unsure as to what to do with them? Let's do this. I wish that I could lift this up a little bit, but well, now you're looking at my gut. How about that? Okay. Trying to see if I can. We're doing the same thing, I think. Darn. Okay. Move this. Put that over there. All right. Well, maybe you've got a little. Now with this one, let's try something a little bit different. I'm going to leave the center. Okay. Let's clean that brush. All right. So this one, I'm going to go around the outside and I'm going to blend around the outside of each one of these hearts. And I might do something to the inside too, but we'll try this first. But with the way that all the colors blend, because this is gessoed, you've got this really kind of a cool abstract background. The center, maybe we'll add just a little bit of water in the center. What do you think? I'm kind of liking grabbing some of these pink . Now let's see what happens if we spray some water . Now if we did this same thing, let's grab just some plain. I'm gonna set this aside, let it dry. Let's take this. This is a just plain white cardstock. There's no gesso on this one. and we'll try a couple of different things. Okay, so this is the stamp, stamped with the ink. It might have been a little wet, but let's do it like this. And I'm going to overlap them slightly. You could do this like in rainbow, with rainbow colors. You could use lighter rainbow colors. And if you had like basically a light pencil line to kind of keep your lines straight. Okay, let's flip this way. The edge. Kind of missed the center of that one, but that's all right. And we'll just overlap slightly on this side. Okay, now I've used the same stamp. There was ink on it. I'm just gonna stamp using the ink that was left on the stamp. Okay, there was a lot of ink on that one. Let's try it this way. Still a lot. Going. Okay, so once this is down, there's not a whole lot of movement that will happen. However, let's just see if we can water. So you're not going to get the same type of blending on a just untreated sheet of paper, but the ink does move slightly, and it's nice because it makes the pattern of the stamp just a little more subtle, right? So let's try something a little bit different. We'll use the pink this time. I finished cleaning the stamp off. Grab some paper towels. And let's do a couple of different things. Stamp is clean. Now let's add some pink. We'll start in the center here. We'll do a couple of different things. So let's do this And this is the Hero Arts Taffy Hero Hues. Okay. So that's like super bright, super pink. And then clean this off just a little bit. And this one is Catherine Puller. It's a Girl. Let's see if we just offset this slightly. Can't really see it that much, huh? Darn, I thought that that was going to look a little different. I wonder if you had two colors that were maybe softer. Let's try. Okay, let's try Bellini. Let's do the It's a Girl again. So this was what it looked like before. I did an offset. So I stamped it. And then let's try, this one is Bellini. And this is more of an orangey color. And I'm just trying to offset it slightly. No, I don't like that. But if you wanted to, with both of these, you can blend them together a little bit more. Same with this. But I think that if you did something like this where you created a like a rainbow stripe using the, it's hard to see, you don't see the detail quite as much. You see? The other thing you could do is if you had like a circle, you know, I have another idea actually, because I have some of these that are left over. Let me grab another sheet of paper. So these are like the, we did that cloud page not too long ago. And hang on one second. I'm going to use these to kind of hold it in place and to mask off the areas that I want to protect. If you guys don't have this, this is Post-it labeling tape, and it works great for securing things, and it also works great for using as a mask to protect your, okay, so what if we take and use our stamp in this way where do it, I'm gonna do it twice. I just wanna make sure that I get this. Okay, well, that didn't work quite as well as I had hoped, but that's okay. Oh, I think the stamp moved, and I'm pretty darn sure it did. Well, this idea was great, but it was a little bit of a fail, to be honest. However, I do have an idea. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up here in a second. Okay. See if we can get a little more of this pattern in that side. Okay, so then let's take an ink blending brush . Whoops. There's my coffee. Okay. Okay. So then when you peel this up, you'll have this cool cloud that has some pattern inside of it. You can see it. So those are just a few ideas and ways that you can use your stamps in different, like not your obvious, not the obvious way that you would probably sit down and use them. But there's a lot of different options for stamps, and you don't need to be limited by the shape or the style of the stamp necessarily. There's a lot of outside the box ways that you can use them and get different effects. So if you look at all of the different things that we did today in terms of, I'm just gonna clean this because I'm gonna get ink everywhere. And in fact, I'm probably, but I would love to see what you guys do with your stamps. And if you guys are inspired to try to use some of your stamps in a way that they weren't maybe necessarily designed or intended to be used. And I'd love to see how you do that and what the results are. So this is what we did. So we did this one, and these are all with the emboss, the heat embossing. This one, obviously a little too bold for me, and then this one is a little too muted. I don't like that. I like these two the best. I don't know about which are your favorites. Leave a comment below and let me know which are your favorites of these. But I I like these two. So this one was the Hero Arts Hero Hues, and these were included in our January color kit, and then these two are included in our May color kit, along with a mist called Pink Stiletto, which these two are shimmery. The pink one is not. So we did those. We did this one with the heart. And this could be actually really cool if you just added a few hearts kind of behind your layers of paper, and it would just add that like splash of color that was kind of peeking out from underneath. So that one is really cool. And then we did it on an ungessoed sheet of paper and blended it with a little bit of water. This was the excess ink, and then this was the offset, which actually this one's kind of cool, I think. This was the light pink and then the Bellini, and you can see both of the colors coming through. This one, everything kind of got lost, but this one I think is pretty. And then we used the stamp along with like a stencil. That was an old cut file, and then just ink blended. So that one's really cool too. So I hope that I've inspired you to pull out your stamps and create something pretty with them. Try them in a different way. Try them to create a heat emboss background and add some ink or some watercolor over the top of it. These, I think our number stamp is still in stock. This was September 2023. I think we've got the heart stamp as well. And that one was June, I think June. And yeah, so we've got those, and then I have some others as well that I was going to play with, and maybe I'll goof around with those, and I'll do a little reel or something in our Instagram story. So be sure to follow us on Instagram to catch that, and I'll share some pictures too in our Facebook group. So I know I've been going on forever, and I'm thrilled that you guys have taken time out of your Mother's Day to join me, and I hope that you're inspired to make something pretty, if not today, perhaps this week. And I hope to see you again next Sunday. Leave a comment below if there's something that you would like to learn or have me show you. That it helps inspire me to come up with projects that are the types of things that you guys want to see. So until next week, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Happy Mother's Day. Bye.